Minutes into the game.
Welcome everyone to our StarCast interview for episode 104. Joining me, because Kyle couldn't make it to this pre-recording for the very first time ever being on StarCast, is Tara Babcock. Tara, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm not at work at the moment, and I'm doing an interview for my show, which is always fun, so in a good mood.
That's good.
Yeah. So welcome to the show. I'm glad you can make it. And I guess let's just get everyone kind of introduced to you so they can figure out, in case they don't know who you are. So, you're a model, correct?
Correct.
Okay, all right. And you also are a big StarCraft fan, I hear.
Yeah, definitely. StarCraft, Esports, gaming, and everything related.
Gotcha. So, one of the things we always ask people on the show, because obviously you wouldn't be on the show if you weren't a gamer, what's your gamer resume? Like, what was the first game that you played that made you say, okay, just gloves are off, I am a gamer?
Gotta take a deep breath for that. It's a pretty long resume.
as are most of them.
Well, when I was young, we had an Atari computer, and I think one of my first games was Pitfall, and then I kind of moved on to, like, Bubble Bobble and all that kind of thing, and I pretty much had every single console, handheld, and everything. I mean, I had the Sega, what was it called? The Sega Game Gear. I had the Sega CD. I had, Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I had the Game Gear. That thing, it took 6 double A's, and it would last like 30 minutes if you were lucky, so you had like the AC plug. I had the one to plug into the cigarette lighter of a car so I could play it in the car, because otherwise it was just dead in half an hour.
Dude, it was the best, though. I mean, it was, like, the most revolutionary thing. It was, like, it's like Game Boy, but bigger and in color.
Yeah. At the time. And how long was it from the Game Gear to Game Boy Color? It was an insanely long period of time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a few years, and, like, after the Game Boy Color came out, I still kind of preferred the Game Gear.
Yeah, well, see, my first Game Boy Color came with Pokemon, so that just killed everything else as far as I was concerned in handheld gaming. So I'm a little biased because of Pokemon.
Dude, I was actually a Pokemon master with the card game and stuff, and I was like a total nerd in elementary school. It was awful and cool at the same time.
Oh, that's great. Me and my posse back in Catholic grade school were the reason that Pokemon cards were banned. So.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they were banned at the school. Can't bring Pokemon cards to school. All that stuff. It's fantastic.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, I cut you off on the GameCube, or the Game Gear. Sorry.
So anyway, after that is kind of just like everything else from there. And PlayStation 1 came out, and then I started pirating hundreds of PlayStation 1 games with my chipped PS1, which was pretty fun. And then I just kind of grew up and realized that I wanted to either be a writer or a model. And I did the modeling thing, got pretty successful at that, and then used that to branch off into gaming. And now I write gaming articles for Impulse Gamer, and I'm also starting to stream. And because of Impulse Gamer, I'm actually allowed to go to MLG Anaheim and E3 as press, which is going to be really exciting.
Oh,
it's like a nerd's dream.
Yeah, that is great. I just went to MLG Columbus, and it was my first time attending as press, which was just so much fun. Granted, we only got one press pass, so me being the jerk I am, I took it. But the whole StarCraft crew came, so I didn't even take advantage of the press seating because I was sitting with the crew. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm super nervous. I'm so scared every time I have to do a speaking part. I mean, I feel like I'm so much more intelligent through text, so it'll be an experience for sure.
That's all right. You'll watch, like, the first 50 episodes of StarCast. They're terrible, so it's quite all right. So, is there a big game in your past where, like, a lot of people they're like, oh, GoldenEye or Warcraft 3? What was your favorite game besides StarCraft?
Well, for me, I mean, everything Mario Brothers has been really influential to me. I mean, that was the first game that I really fell in love with. Like, I played a lot of games, and I played, like, Donkey Kong and Crash Bandicoot and, like, everything, but all the Mario games I really liked, And I was really, really good at them. Like, I could speed run them and stuff, and, So I liked it so much that I designed my own tattoo and got a Mario Brothers tattoo. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's my favorite game, but it means it's kind of where I come from. It's my background, and it's something that's not just like, oh, a butterfly on my lower back, or something that someone already has, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Now the important question is, what power-up does Mario have?
Mario isn't actually on there. It's actually the supporting characters, like the Chain Chomp and the Coin Block and the Mushroom and all that.
Wow. Oh, that's a sounds like a detailed tattoo.
It is, and it took like 4 hours and hurt like crap, so it was awful.
That's not good. I've always wanted tattoos, but I could never justify the cost of them. So I'm an artist, so I feel like at the end there'd be one little thing wrong with it that I wouldn't like, and I would just go the rest of my life just being really mad with this one little part of my tattoo.
Yeah, I hear you there.
So you're right for Impulse Gamer. So how did that start?
Well, they do a section on babes and gamer babes, and I was one of the ones that was actually a hardcore gamer babe, and they were like, wow, you say that you used to write stuff and that you used to want to be a writer before you wanted to be a model, so, let's see how this goes. And they pretty much gave me, like, free range of everything, and they were like, just do what you want, and we'll see how it goes, and it's awesome. It's like a dream.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, I went over there and checked it out when I heard you were coming on the show. You got some good articles over there. Obviously, I'm sure people are drawn to it for eye candy as well, but it's a good read. I promise.
Thanks.
To the people who are watching this and seeing you for the first time, there is substance to it, people. Go check it out.
Thanks. I really don't mind using my modeling stuff to, like, catch the eye, because I know I do have the substance and the personality to go along with it afterwards. And if I don't, at least I'm, kind of drawing people into the gaming who are just there for the TNA,
Yeah. Hey, yeah, it's not, I can't say it's a bad thing.
Thank you.
So, now, the reason you're here is to talk StarCraft. How did you fall into StarCraft in the first place? Was it just a natural progression? Was there, like, a buddy, did you, like, go over to a friend's house and they were playing it, or like, oh, that right there, I need to play that?
I have kind of a story on StarCraft. It was like a love-hate relationship. Well, at first, I played a lot of Warcraft 2, and I loved the Warcraft story. I loved the orcs and the humans, and, the medieval, like, savage kind of tone it had to it. And then I heard that StarCraft was coming out. And when you think about it's kind of like a, similar word, right? So I'm thinking, okay, they're putting this in here just to make more money, and it's going to be stupid, and it's going to be a ripoff, So I kind of just, like, wrote it off at first. And I went on and I played Warcraft 3 and I played Diablo and all that. And then recently my friends were like, oh my god, StarCraft 2 is coming out. And I was like, I don't really care. And they're like, no, really, you have to play it. It's amazing. So I started playing Brood War, and I played a little bit, and I played through the story, and I played, like, some custom games and stuff. And I was like, wow, the story is awesome, and the gameplay is totally different, and, the space-related story was actually, gripping and intense, and I liked it. So I pre-ordered the collector's edition of StarCraft 2, and it went from there. And at first it was cooperative games only that I played, because I was so scared of 1v1s, and then I started getting into 1v1s, and I'm like, I want to be a part of the streaming community and, kind of document my rise in the ranks and see how far I can get.
Well, that's cool.
And that's how it started.
Yeah, so how long have you been streaming now? Is this a recent development, or have you been doing it for a while?
It's actually pretty recent. I think I started a couple months ago, and I've only done, like, this is going to be my 5th episode today. And it's been fun. And it was crazy, though, because my first episode had 250 viewers live, like, the whole time. And I was like, oh my god, I'm going to do so well. And then, I found out that someone had promoted me on their, like, popular stream. And then the rest of them had only been, like, 70 plus or less viewers, Yeah. So I'm kind of, like, building up the ranks like everyone else now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been fun.
Yeah, streaming can be rough, and it's almost like now it's getting to the point where you almost have to look at it like I'm sure TV networks do. It's like, okay, what's on at this time, so I'm not competing with it. Like, we just moved to Thursday nights because we realized we were at the exact same slot as Live on 3, and it's like, wow, okay, well, we've got, how many do we have? Oh, 3 viewers, cool. All right, well, I guess we should change our night.
Yeah, that's definitely difficult, and the marketing that goes into it, and then not getting tilted when you're playing 1v1s, and you, like, normally when I'm playing 1v1s alone, I get to the point where I'm, like, almost crying if I go, like 0-7 or something, and it's like, I'm like, oh my god, and then I have to also keep playing up that like happy persona that people want to actually watch and doesn't make them want to commit suicide, you know? So it's been a challenge, but it's great and it's so much fun. And interacting with the community is great. I mean, the StarCraft community, so nice.
Yeah, they can be really, really awesome. I mean, granted, they can also be incredibly mean at times, but we'll leave the trolls out of this.
Yeah, every industry has trolls, and people on the internet think they can say whatever they want. So
yeah. So, I guess you're playing StarCraft. What is your race of choice?
Definitely Terran.
Okay, sweet. I'm with you there. See, this is where we need Kyle, so he can just be like, bah, and rant off with his Zerg propaganda. So I'll speak for Kyle. Oh, how could you? They're humans. They're so boring.
That is true, but they have Thors, and we don't have Thors in our life, so...
Yes, that is very true. Well, we have Chris Hemsworth, but I don't think he counts.
He doesn't count.
No, as badass as he is. But so do you have like some kind of nerdy defense for why you like Terran? I mean, I always have. I like they're covered in metal and they're space truckers, and I grew up in the South, so that's just who doesn't like space truckers? But do you have like a reason you were pulled to them over the shiny Protoss or the gross Zerg?
Well, I really love the idea of like I like the gameplay mechanics. The way you have to play with Terran is my favorite, and I feel like it's kind of the middle ground, because in my opinion, playing Protoss at a lower level, at least, I can't speak for higher levels, is too easy. I mean, you just warp in units, and you just go, and it's OP. It really is. And, like, Death Balls and High Templars and all that is ridiculous. I mean, the micro that you have to like exude in order to like dodge High Templar attacks and stuff like that as a Terran is ridiculous, but it's also not as like odd as the way you would play a Zerg. And besides, I want to be like Terra the Terran, right?
That does work. That is that's wow. Make a shirt. So speaking of Zerg, did you watch did you get a chance to watch the MLG Spring Arena 2 finals this past weekend? With the
I didn't.
The epic ZVZ. Oh, you want to talk about micro-intensive? That entire series was a total nail-biter.
ZVZ is ridiculous.
Yeah, I usually hate watching ZVZ because it's just like, oh, let's watch roaches dance around each other for 20 minutes until someone finally gets the better upgrades and just goes all in.
Yeah.
But these were really good because obviously we had, it was between Violet and Symbol, and they were just, holy crap. You just made me think of that. I was curious if you had seen it. So.
No, I've actually heard that the GSL finals a couple days ago were amazing against Squirtle and MVP, I think.
Yes.
And I haven't got to watch them, and I'm like, so don't spoil it for me, but I'm like so excited to watch it.
I won't. It's funny, I'm sitting here and I have our full show notes for our show that the viewers probably just finished watching at the time of this record, and I'm looking at these notes, and I want to tell you about all these awesome things that I watched a couple days ago. It was an absolutely awesome finals, and if you're Terran, you need to go watch it because there's some really impressive stuff. There's some impressive cheesy stuff too, because it's MVP. And if you saw him versus Naniwal on the GSL, you know how brutal his cheese can be. I
like well executed cheese sometimes.
Yeah, you need it. It's like a garnish. You should have some good cheese in your back pocket. So. Do you have a tournament of choice? Like everyone's they kind of have to gravitate towards. Like I know Kyle always gravitates towards the GSL. I'm a big MLG fan, and I will say I'm biased because they actually come to Florida, so I don't have to fly across the country for them. Is there one that you have a preference for?
I definitely gravitate toward MLG just because it's, I feel like it's a standard,
Yeah.
But I also really do like watching the GSL when I can catch it and when I can watch the VODs because, I mean, it's awesome. Yeah. And it's so cool to see it in like a Korean scene, like a really authentic, awesome, epic scene,
I'm so jealous, and this is something we bring up on the show so many times, that in South Korea they have this nightly games. I would love for MLG to be like that, where we have like a couple games 5 nights a week. I realize that's obviously hard because they want the Koreans to play, and then they're not going to fly back and forth between North America and Korea. But that's definitely a really attractive part of the GSL.
Yeah, and I really love that there's a country out there that they're one of their main isn't it their main country sport, StarCraft? I mean, like
Yeah.
we have like, sports like basketball and stuff, but StarCraft is so much more intense and interesting and like badass.
Indeed. I'm a big baseball fan, but I'm not going to even try and sit here and lie and tell people that it's more interesting than StarCraft because it's not. It's
If we could like blow things up in baseball, I would totally watch that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like Futurama. Do you watch Futurama at all? The
Yeah.
Blurred's Ball or whatever it is in there. Like they're
Yeah.
riding on giant ants and stuff. That's what we're basically.
Or even something like that that game that they had in Final Fantasy X that Tidus
that
played.
was in the water orb.
Yeah, the water globe, or like even like Harry Potter, something like that would be really interesting.
Oh yeah, if we could just invent magic and flying brooms, then we would be good. We would have.
Exactly.
There you go. That's what's missing from sports is magic and lightning scars.
Yeah, dude, and that's what's like so attractive about gaming is that you can do all of that stuff,
Exactly. It seems off topic, but that is a very good point. I mean, obviously, that's why I was attracted to StarCraft. It's like you've got cloaked dudes that drop nukes on creatures that look like they were straight out of Aliens. I'm all in on this. Sign me up.
Yeah, I know, and it's just enough realism to like really grab you in, and I can like relate to it, like
Right.
the story and the Terran and all that. But I actually do have to say that I think the Zerg is the cutest race.
Apparently, we
I
have
might
two
be a
very
minority there.
I was about to say, apparently we have very different definitions of the word cute.
I think they're adorable.
Okay. Again, if Kyle was here, I'm sure he'd be going, I could see that. I would hug an Ultralisk.
I would. I want an Ultralisk pet. Like, seriously, that would be awesome.
Yeah, if they stayed small and you dulled their giant death-hugging arms. Okay, I could see that.
I would ride that on the freeway.
You would need one when you go down to MLG Anaheim because you're gonna have to go through LA, and that's gonna be that's interesting. I've made that drive before. That's no fun.
LA traffic, OP, man.
Do not miss it. I miss a lot of things about living out west. That is not one of them. Not at all. Although here you don't have traffic jams. You just have people driving like 50 under because they're like 9,600 years old. So, right now, what would you say your worst matchup is? ZVP, or sorry, you're not Protoss, which are TVZ, TVP, etc. Is there a race that pops up and you're just like, oh, shit, why?
Definitely TVP, probably. I switch off a little bit. Like, sometimes if I practice a lot of TVZ, it gets pretty, good. And especially at the lower levels, I mean, if you just build a lot of, like, early infestors or something against me as a Terran, I'm, like, screwed. And nobody does that, though. They're just like, oh, roach rushes and baneling busts and, just something I have to watch. But with Protoss, the early push, I don't know what to do yet. I would do a 2 racks expand, because I like to early expand, but I also want to make sure that I'm safe until I, get a good army. But lately that hasn't been working, and like I've been trying to do a 1-base play, and I have not practiced 1-base at all because I don't like it. I don't like the whole like super turtling up just to like kind of do an all-in type thing.
Yeah.
So I really haven't figured out what I'm doing against low-level Protoss because they always just rush me with the death ball. And it's like, oh, sometimes I just wish for the High Templars, so we can get some good endgame going. Because I swear, I'm so great with my macro.
Yeah, that's no fun. I don't know. Like, what comp? Is it just all gateway units?
Yeah, it's usually just like that 4-gate.
oh, just marauders and stutter step, man. That's all you need.
I know, man, but just the gas and all that I have to spend on that rather than
Right. Yeah.
It's something I gotta fine tune, but I definitely can do it. I mean, obviously, if I just practice.
We seem to have opposite problems because that's the biggest issue I have with Protoss is end game. Early game, I'm just like Marauders, yeah, Marauder King, and then which is gonna be my new handle when I get into the GSL because I'm a big Marine King fan. So.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I've got my sign right there. Yeah, Marine King.
Oh, that's
Although he's been
awesome.
breaking my
So
heart
jealous.
lately. He just lost in Code A, I believe. Yeah.
No, I heard he's doing pretty bad compared to how he usually does.
Yeah, it was like after that MLG just sweep, who just kind of kind of lost his stride. But whatever,
Yeah,
Marine King.
I mean, I was hearing... Oh, sorry, go.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I know Marine King listens, so I'm still rooting for you, buddy, because I'm sure you listen to this show.
Dude, me too. I mean, like, people are saying that he's, like, one of the best Terrans in the world, and then it's probably just bad luck.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the Code S loss had something to do with jet lag, because he had just come back from the first Spring Arena, where he came in second to DRG.
God, I can believe that. Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing that, like, traveling internationally and then having to do something that takes so much brain power. It's like, oh, that must be stressful.
Yeah. I would do it in a heartbeat, but I could definitely see it be really, really hard. So let's getting back on topic.
Hey, it's on topic. The Marine King is so StarCraft.
Well, good, yes, exactly. But getting back on the topic of you, the reason we're here talking. How do you fit in gaming with your modeling career? Is your modeling career your full-time job? Like, and I'm not even sure how modeling works as a full-time job. Do you like get up at 8:30, go to work at 9, punch in?
Well, it is my full-time job, but I don't necessarily have to do it 5 days a week. Living here in Seattle, it's not necessarily a 5-day-a-week job. So I usually work like 2 or 3 times a week here, maybe less, maybe more, depending. It's all about just what I want to do. And what happens is I have agents who set me up with jobs and they take a percentage, or I have kind of like model social networking sites where people will, book me directly, and then my website. And I also take longer gigs like, filming for some pseudo-reality show or something, anything like that. And so I barely sleep. And I sometimes wake up in the morning, and if I don't, I sleep in, and then I wake up, and I game, and I work on my website, and then I game some more, and then I get sidetracked by Diablo or StarCraft. And then,
Diablo, you just brought up my recent drug of choice.
Yeah, me too. Dude, I went to a StarCraft tournament last weekend, and I hadn't practiced more than like 4 hours that week, and I totally bombed it. I think I went like 0-4, 0-3 or something like that with only 2 singular games won at all, and they were like, it was awful.
Yeah, it was really bad. I was really stoked yesterday. I finally found a collector's edition of Diablo, so I was really happy.
Dude, I pre-ordered that.
You see, I also, this is you want to talk about getting emails from StarCraft fans. I also play WoW, because it's my girlfriend's game of choice, and we like to game together. And I enjoy it. Yeah, that's right, StarCraft fans. I like WoW. Deal with it.
Me too!
Okay, thank you. Cool, we're friends now. So, we both decided, we'll sign up for that year thing. And we got Diablo for free. So I decided, yeah, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm getting it for free. And the last few Blizzard games that came out, like Cataclysm and StarCraft, I actually saw collector's editions in Best Buy weeks after the game came out. So I'm like, I don't need to pre-order it. I'm not even sure I really want to drop the $100. I'll leave it up to fate. And then it comes out, and all my friends get it. They're running around with wings. I'm like, I need this game. I didn't know you got like an Angel Terran portrait, and since my handle's Saint, I'm like, I need that. And,
yeah.
So I went on this crusade to find one, and then lucky enough, the local Best Buy had one pre-ordered copy that wasn't picked up, and after a week after launch, it kind of goes free. So I'm like, yes. So,
dude, you're lucky. You cannot live. Yeah, I know, me too. Oh my god.
Nice.
Dude, I have a Diablo nightlight.
Do you?
It's pretty epic, yeah.
Wow, where'd you find that? It's like an Etsy thing, or?
It was on the Battle.net store.
Oh, really?
Or the Blizzard store. I don't remember which site you go to for that. But I was like, I gotta get that. Oh my god!
Sounds like the thing you should totally get for your newborn child. A glowing Satan head.
It'd be like totally backwards about what's supposed to be scary, and he'll be like taking candy from strangers and all kind of awful things.
Yeah, that's interesting. So
yeah, I actually had a guy ask me. He's like, my daughters would love that. They're 7 and 8, and they would just adore that. And I'm like, all right, use with discretion.
I was watching television the other day and flipping through the channels and turned on to the movie that I saw at 7 that I totally shouldn't have. Thanks, Dad. Aliens. Should not have seen that movie when I was 7. So maybe an 8-year-old be okay with a glowing Diablo skull head thing.
Times are changing, man.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. was there a movie you saw like when you were like you can think of that you totally should not have seen at a young age?
Dude, I saw everything. My parents had no filter for me. I mean, I grew up on Monty Python, so my sense of humor is totally weird.
Very, very twisted, I would assume.
A little bit.
Got it. Oh, I mean, Monty Python wasn't too terrible. I mean, as a kid, that stuff totally went over my head, and then I got older, and it was like seeing it for the second time. Same with Back to the Future. So many jokes in that movie, I realized I totally didn't get as a kid, and now watching it again, I'm like, all right, this movie's awesome again, because now I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, like, have you noticed, like, even when you're watching a Disney movie now, you're like, kids aren't going to get that joke. Whoa, that was a little not PG for a kids thing. And it's like, they just, like, assume that it's going to go over the kids' heads and it's not going to be a big deal. And the adults will be like, ha ha, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know, one of my favorite podcasts that is in no way gaming related is the Nerdist, which is just an interview podcast. And the other day, the guy who does it had on the voice of Fry from Futurama and Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy. And I mean, you want to talk about a cartoon that was very much geared at children. Ren and Stimpy is kind of the flagship.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So where was I going with that? I don't know. I think I was delving into Diablo talk there. So whatever, StarCraft. What are you playing in Diablo? Because that's what everyone's playing right now. What are you rocking in Diablo?
I have a monk. I have a level 50-something monk who's in hell right now.
Oh, wow.
And
okay, I haven't made it that
I'm
far
trying
yet.
to find... Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the balance between, you know, being a good DPS as a monk and kind of tanking a little bit so that I can actually survive. Because, you know, I like the spell where I, like, pull the guys in and then they're all attacking me and then I can, like, line them up and do whatever, you know? But when I do that, they all start attacking me and then I die. So my DPS doesn't matter when I'm dead, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty hard.
Apparently, I've been... Oh, what's the next difficulty? Nightmare or something? I don't even remember.
Nightmare's second, and then after that is...
Yeah, I'm in Nightmare and I'm dying a lot. I'm playing a Barbarian, and last night I made it to Belial, and I cannot kill this son of a bitch to save my life. So,
Are you soloing?
Yeah, well, yeah, that night I was. The night before I was playing with some friends and was having no issues. Granted, we were dying, but we were not playing as a team well at all. If you know Liv and Pink from the Girls of StarCraft, I was playing with her. She could tell you all about our epic death session.
I do. She's super cute.
Yeah, Liv and Pink is a blast, and it was awful. I got into a game with her and a couple of her MLG friends, and I was up so much later than I should have, and I was like, oh, I got a good group. I haven't had a good group in a while, and yesterday at work was a challenge because I was up till like 2 playing Diablo.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I play usually with 3 other people, and one of us is in town shopping, the other one is dead alt-tabbed, and it's usually too many, really.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely a challenge to coordinate.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad they've made it so casual for jumping into people's games. Like, oh, so-and-so's on, I'll just get in with him, it's fine. Although, like, then you end up, like, replaying so many things because, you get knocked back in story or pushed forward in the story because you're jumping between friends at different levels.
Then again, it's not too great when you have that guy on your real ID list who you don't really want to play with, but he keeps, like, jumping into your game. You don't want to delete him because you are friends with him, but it's just like... Not that I have that problem, anyone on my real ID, I swear.
You don't strike me as someone who would have any creepy stalker fans at all.
No, they're not creepy. They're great. I love them so much.
I believe Liv and Pink called them "show me your toes" people.
Oh God, foot fetishes.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always a good time. Where did I get here? I don't know how we got into this discussion, but yeah, apparently
anyway,
somewhere in the UI is like a setting you can turn on, so people have to request to join your party, which I haven't done, but I don't have creepy people joining and asking me to show them my toes, so I haven't really had to go looking for that.
Thankfully, me either.
Yeah, that's good. That's always a good thing. So, back to the modeling. Modeling and gaming, they're two wildly different industries. I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of coworkers, or you've met a lot of other models. Are there a lot of other models you've met in your time that are also gamers, or Or do they all kind of just look at you cross-eyed like, what? You do modeling and you game?
I mean, a lot of them do, and I have friends who I go out with, and all they want to do is like kind of drink and stuff, and I'm just like, have you heard of StarCraft? And they're like, what? And like we don't really connect on like a deeper level because of that, but there are a lot of girl gamers that are models. I mean, I have 3 friends who I can think of off the top of my head who play World of Warcraft, and a lot of them will play things like Pokemon or Mario and stuff like that, but I can't think of anyone who's really like a hardcore gamer. A lot of them are casual gamers, but that's really great for the industry. Both industries are actually really similar. I mean, I have a couple friends who like are pretty big in the gaming industry, casting, writing, playing, and we can actually talk business and like how like, don't you hate it when people ask you this, or don't you hate it when people are trying to book you in this? And it's really similar actually. It's kind of interesting to find that out,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, well, that is kind of cool. So have you taken any of your model friends and converted them though? Have you just been like, no, we're sitting down, we're not going out and drinking tonight, we're gonna play some StarCraft, and I'm gonna teach you how this works?
I don't really have any model friends that are that close, but I would love to. And I actually have to give a shout out to my friend Amelia Talon, who is like the biggest girl gamer model that I can think of. And she's this month's Playmate of the Month.
Oh,
so yay!
Damn.
Yeah, that's exciting for her. And like she's a big WoW player, and she's in love with Pokemon. Like, it's ridiculous. It like turns her on.
Well, Mewtwo is quite the looker. So I can see that.
Yeah, I actually brought her to a Starcraft, and I'm trying to get her into Diablo and other games and stuff like that. And I think I'll make her do it eventually. I'm sure.
Well, then at least your friends that like going out and drinking, Starcraft could be the merging point. You're like, well, we could go out and drink, and we could enjoy what I like. So.
Yeah, but they're less baneling bombs and more going out and dancing.
Oh, yeah, then that's probably not so good. Then you should take them to MLG and find the after party, because it's insane.
Yeah. That's definitely a good idea. I mean, I think it's really important to bridge the gap between like mainstream and gaming, and I feel like a lot of people are uncomfortable with that. And obviously, I have a lot of haters for saying that I'm making the sexism worse, or I'm degrading esports or whatever. But I feel like I've always talked about gaming, but I waited until I got successful enough to start promoting gaming really hardcore and being like, yeah, I'm the model nerd and stuff like that.
Right.
And just really trying to market it that way, because, just saying, person who likes to play silver level StarCraft is really not going to get many views. But
right.
If you watch and you see, I have the heart for it, I love it, I am a true gamer, and I really just want esports to be mainstream, and I want to one day work more in the gaming side than the modeling side, Yeah. It's like, it's all a bunch of, I swear, like wholesome, goals I have here.
Yeah, and I mean, you get good personalities on your stream too that are very obviously right up front, just nothing but hardcore gamers, which should immediately dispel rumors like that. So, and I want to call those people out too, because we always start a thread on Team Liquid anytime we have a guest that we're interviewing for the first time. Like, hey guys, give us your questions. And we got so many haters on yours. We're like, you know what? We're gonna lock this and whatever. The people are just not being constructive at all. And then you started your thread promoting your stream on Team Liquid. I'm like, oh, I go into it because I was curious. I'm like, let's see if people are haters in here. And they're not. They're cowards. No one will talk shit if it's to your face. But if it's
God,
proxy,
you should have seen
talk
today,
so
though.
much shit.
There is a lot of hate on there today. I mean,
was there?
But yeah, the way I take that is like I'm really confident because I understand how that works, and like I'm really comfortable with like my sexuality and the stigma of that in the society and all that, and I understand and I can see both sides, and I'm not like, like it sucks for gamer girls who aren't used to that. Like they don't have something like modeling where they had to go through that. And they're just like sweet girls that are like, I'm a gamer and I want to show the world, and I'm going to, make a difference. And then everyone just starts hating on them, and it's like, whoa, is there something wrong with me? And it's just like, it's almost heartbreaking, And talking to some of the girls who play, it's like, the crap that they get is just not fair, you know? And, like, I can totally take it, and I can just, you know, either ignore it or, you know, just be cute back and be like, oh, that's silly, you know, or just something smart, you know, and try to show them that it's different. But other girls just, like, break down over it, and I don't understand why they do that. It's, like, messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, this almost seems like an extension of last week's show. We had Tesla on, one of the founders of Girls of StarCraft, and we had such this long, epic conversation about sexism in gaming. If anyone watching missed it, I really recommend you go back and watch it either here on the Twitch page, or if you're an audio-only guy, you can find it on iTunes. But yeah, it's a really interesting discussion, and it's funny, you know, that you bring that up, because I don't understand, like, so many female gamers get hate, like, the big thing is like, oh, girls don't game, and then you get it because you're, oh, well, she's a model, and she's the only reason people, like, and I don't understand that, why you're getting hate because you're a model. Like, why can't a model game too? I don't
yeah, I know. But I know, like, what my friends kind of suggested is that, like, if you don't want that hate, if it's, like, hurting you, which it's not, you know, then don't promote it like that. Just put pictures of, you know, your StarCraft characters or something, and totally don't promote it like you're a model, because you're gonna get the hate off of that. And I'm like, I would rather have the viewers, and I would rather, you know, direct my model fans toward there and, like, you know, connect it a little bit and just be successful overall in my own endeavors and esports gaming endeavors. Hate is like whatever, you know, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're
confident about something, then it doesn't even bother you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. If it's something that you enjoy doing and something you're not ashamed of in any way, shape, or form, there's no reason I don't think you should connect the two.
Yeah, and I mean, like, all the things, like, all the comments that, you know, the silly comments, I just take that as, like, funny, you know? And, like, with guys, it's like, guys are used to this divide, right, where, okay, guys do this, and there's no way a girl is going to like that, like sports or gaming or anything like that. And then when they see that a girl is into that, it's like sexy and, like, different and interesting, and they don't know how to deal with that, so they troll, and they act like jerks, and they ask you out, and they treat you different, because it's really interesting and sexy for a guy to see a girl that's a gamer, you know, just, even if she's not, you know, super beautiful, it's just sexy, you know, to be a gamer and to be into things that are interesting to men, you know? And girls don't really get that, you know?
Yeah, I would make the argument, too, that all of these trolls are the ones that have absolutely no game in real life, because they're obviously showing that they have no game online. So, congratulations to you, trolls. Enjoy it. So.
I actually allow creative trolls on my stream. Like, trolls that, like, say some really funny stuff, they're totally allowed, and I, like, support it. I'm like, oh, that's so funny! You know, but then trolls that just come on, they're like, oh, you're ugly, go die. They get banned.
Yeah. Every time we have a girl on StarCast, there's, without a doubt, at least one person we need to ban. I don't understand it, so cut it out, people. It's stupid. It's just dumb. I don't get it.
Dude, you'll have to link me the thread that you posted. I want to see the hate.
Oh, just search Terra on Team Liquid, because there's only two things that pop up: our question thread and then your stream thread.
Okay.
And I just locked it because it was going nowhere, so I'm like, we'll just lock this. We've got plenty of questions. Who needs these trolls?
You really got no, like, constructive questions at all?
Nope. None whatsoever. So I thought it'd just be funny to bring it up. So, and the funniest question was, oh, why is she getting on? Because she writes articles about StarCraft. There's tons of people that write articles of StarCraft. It's just because she's hot, and it's just like, no, it's because her buddy Mark contacted us because we're always looking for guests. It's like, hey, you should have my friend Tara on. She's awesome. And we're like, oh, okay. And you know why we said yes? Because we don't have people coming at us very often. We usually have to, like, send out tons of emails and hope someone gets back to us and wanting to be on the show. So when someone kind of cool comes on and is like, hey, I think this person right here would be a good fit, we're like, cool. So,
dude, it's not like you're like hater, writer 1, oh, not hot enough. Writer 2, not hot enough. Oh, there's Tara.
Yeah, that
right.
is totally what I do, man. That's it. I'm like, I go through like Playboy magazines before I choose everyone we pull on the show. Like, okay, there we go. No, that is not how this works, people. So irritating. And I challenge these people. Obviously, I think watching this, they'll realize, oh, she is a gamer and a model. She's not just, you're not trying to fake it And I would also encourage them to go check out your stream, because I have, and obviously you're very into this.
Thank you. I mean, it is hard to, like, believe that, you know, you can kind of bridge the gap and you can grow up different and all that stuff. And, I mean, everyone kind of has their, like, stereotypes that go off in their head when they see a certain type of person, and that's fine, but, like, some people just get on and, like, start calling me names and telling me that I shouldn't live and stuff, and it's like, what the hell? What did I do to you? Did I, like, run over your dog or something? It's so weird.
Oh, yeah. I get, like I said, I get the same kind of emails, except because I play WoW, and not always StarCraft 24/7, or because I'm gold instead of diamond and I do a show. It's if you put yourself out there, you're always going to get trolls, so unless it's constructive, I am all for, you know, tell me I'm doing something wrong, but tell me how I can fix it. Don't just be like, you're a noob. Why are you doing a show about StarCraft? Go die. It's like, it's free. I didn't make you pay for it. Don't watch it.
I know. It's absolutely, like, valid if, like, someone made a panel, like, 101 to streaming, things you need to know before you start streaming, and, like, just to know that when you're out there in the public eye, you need to understand that you need to be confident and not let things get to you, because it can get to you, you know? I mean, having, like, thousands and thousands of people hate on you it can be stressful, and I mean, things have gotten to me, but only, like, things I'm actually kind of insecure about, things I don't actually like, you know? Those are the only things that get to me, but I'm lucky. There are a lot of people that are just really easily hurt, and that sucks.
Yeah, it really does. So I don't go crying to bed at night because someone's like, oh, you play WoW. Oh, he knows. So... yeah,
what's wrong with playing WoW? I mean,
it's a stigma. It's Blizzard, people. I don't get it, but I don't know. You're obviously not gonna like our other show that we do This Week in Blizz if you don't like WoW. So don't go watch that one, definitely.
I mean, I guess they're probably mad that, you know, WoW is, like, incredibly huge of a game and not as many people play StarCraft, but it's that type of game, you know. It's the game that you can, you know, bring your new gamer to, or your girlfriend, or your friend, or your dad, or just, like, have a bunch of characters. And StarCraft is more of a thing you have to spend a lot of time and brain power on in order to, you know, even be good, in order to even stay sane, really. I mean, laddering 1v1 is so ridiculously, like, stressful sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I suffer from ladder anxiety more than anyone, I think, in our entire community. Like, you talk to anyone on our forums, you talk to Kyle, you talk to Octane Pro, our producer, they'll tell you, yeah, Garrett hates ladder. He throws his mouse. He gets angry. Like, yeah, it's I can completely understand that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I, like, dread streaming it, and I dread even doing it. I mean, but then when I get into it, it's, like, amazing. It's like an adrenaline rush. You know, how can you get an adrenaline rush from not running, you know, or not doing some kind of physical activity? It's like...
you get the shakes almost sometimes.
Any kind of... yeah. And, like, oh, it's so awesome. Awesome but terrible at the same time.
Yeah, it's... I've you know, I had this discussion with my buddy Ben, who's a co-host with me over on This Week in Blizz, and we were, you know, having dinner when I were talking, and we're like, you know, there is no other game on this earth that affects us mentally and physically like StarCraft does. There's nothing. Maybe Super Smash Brothers when I was in college, because it was like a rite of passage to own the shit out of your roommate. But other than that, StarCraft just it can completely make my day if I totally own a guy. If I completely outthink and outplay a guy, I'm the happiest guy in the world. And like you said, if I go 7-0, I'm just like, I'm garbage. I'm gonna quit the show. Those people about WoW are right. Yeah.
Oh my god, I could imagine, like, seriously, it's so stressful sometimes. I could imagine, like, StarCraft-related deaths. So, I mean, it's really intense. It's like... yeah. It's like sports times 12.
Yeah, that's when you know you've made an amazing game. Is when people have these things to say about it. So
I mean, they have a whole country built around it, pretty much.
Exactly. Go Blizz.
And North America and Europe are getting on board, man.
Indeed, exactly. That's another reason I lean towards MLGs, because it's totally North America's version of GSL, at least the closest to it at the current time. So. Good on them. So you are going to MLG Anaheim, correct?
I am.
Is this going to be your first MLG?
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Is there, like, anyone in particular you're really excited to see play in person? Like, I know when I went to Columbus, I was like, I'm going to get to see Marine King play. This is going to be awesome.
I just want to see everyone, and my main goal is to get as many interviews as I can. And I'm like the shyest person ever when it comes to starting a conversation. Once I'm in it, I'm like way too talkative and like crazy. But like going up to someone and being like, can I get an interview with you? It's like so scary. And like this weekend, Kawhi Rice was at the tournament, and he talked to me, came up to me, so nice to me, and I wanted to ask him for an interview, but I just didn't. And I feel so stupid because I need to like practice. You know, going there as press, it's like something you're expected to do. But
yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we kind of fell into the same problem when we went to Columbus. Although the issue is not confidence. It's one of the few things I don't have an issue with in life is going up to people and being like, hey, bugga bugga bugga. But I just got I got wrapped into the games. I didn't want to leave my seat. I didn't want to stop watching. So I got so fewer interviews than I wanted to, and I ended up meeting the most people at the after party, and that's so not when you're gonna get an interview.
Yeah.
So it's overall the dubstep. It's just not gonna happen. So
I don't know. Like a drunk interview would probably be very watchable. So. True,
but the thing you don't want to do is, I mean, the after party is where everyone goes to like let loose, have a good time, and kind of be themselves. That's not where you want to just be like, well, hello, I'm so and so. Can we get like an interview? And so you don't want to do that. You just want to kind of hang out and chat, talk StarCraft, or not even StarCraft, but talking beer with Xlav for like half an hour. So Xlav's an awesome guy, by the way.
That's pretty epic.
If you get the chance, make sure you say hi to him out there. He's a great guy.
I'll try if I get the courage.
So. Well, Tara, that is awesome. I think brings us to the end of the allotted time I have for this. But we will totally have to have you back on though, with Kyle for a proper Starcasting. We'll have to have you back on in the near future we'll have you as a guest host or something, as Matt Fink did today for today's episode. Again, I'm trying to talk as if this isn't pre-recorded. It's always fun.
Hello, future people.
Exactly. I come to you from the past. Unfortunately, I do not have the Michael J. Fox jacket. Like the little... Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, live long and prosper. So before we go, Tara, where can people find you? Is there anything like promote? Twitter, websites, streams, etc.?
Definitely Twitter. Twitter's the best place to keep in touch with me in all levels, gaming, streaming, modeling, everything. So you can find me at twitter.com/Tara Babcock and twitch.tv/Tara Babcock. And I also have all of my VODs in full length up on YouTube at youtube.com/model Tara Babcock, because somebody took Tara Babcock.
Oh, jerks.
And I'm sick of saying my name. Anyway, and you can also find me on my fan page on Facebook at /official Tara Babcock fans. Same reason as the YouTube channel.
Great. Well, that's awesome.
And yeah.
Make sure you go check it out, especially your stream. You know, it's a newer stream, and it's always hard to start now. So people, please go support her. Her stream is actually a lot of fun, and who knows? Maybe you'll see Kyle and I jump in and play some games with her too. So.
Yeah. Oh, and also check out my articles, because that is my more intelligent work. Even though it may not look like it, it really is. And I have a 10 Reasons to Date a StarCraft Player, which is like a really fun article. So check that out. The quick link for that is terrasgspot.com. GameSpot, not G-Spot. It's not porn, I promise you.
There's, again, lots of eye candy, but good writing.
Thank you.
Well, awesome. Well, we're at the end of the show, so I guess I'll do the read too, so that we don't need to do it twice. As always, you can go to thestarcast.com for everything StarCast. You can email the show at starcastshow@gmail.com or call the StarCast line at 941-882-0281. You can find our stream Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at twitch.tv/StarCastShow. Please go and check out the live show. It's awesome. Catch us on Twitter at the StarCast. Catch me at Garrett Art. Catch Kyle, who is not here at the moment, but I'm sure you saw him tonight, at Kyle Ferguson. And big thanks to Octane Pro and Captain Dubing for their help in the production of this show. Check out Kyle and I's other show if you can't get enough of our silly grins at This Week in Blizz. If you enjoy Diablo, WoW, StarCraft, that's a good show. It's thisweekinblizz.com. Catch Kyle's other show, Biggest Fan, where he follows the fad that's driving you mad. I don't know what he's doing this week. I know last week he did hummus. Doesn't sound like that exciting of a show, but him and Brockett are hilarious, so I'm sure it's a great show. And finally, don't forget to check out our sponsors, DogHouseSystems.com, for the best gaming computers money can buy. Use the code StarCast or Biscuit. You'll support us and get double memory on your next Doghouse rig. Tara, you were a delight. Thank you so much once again for coming on the show, and hopefully we'll see you again in the future.
Thank you. It was an honor. Had so much fun.